see various of community endowments and loans. So my thing is, does that mean that you can set up banks and loaning institutions within this ecosystem?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah, absolutely. And if they didn't, then someone will definitely be innovating it into Shibarium. But yes, that was what we discussed yesterday. John, remember about the Shi token?
Yeah, that's right.
And we had discussed this, that this can be like a credit card. It's going to be a coin that people can actually loan against.
If we have a stable coin and it works, not just in theory, but in application, and it's starting to be accepted, and you have the ability to do loans in this process, this system, it's ball game. It's over. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I know banking, I know bankers, and they're scared to death of this stuff.
But
And
I have to interject, Reggie. I'm sorry, I do have to interject because I'm curious, and I've discussed this with the guys at work. Have you not heard of the United States going into crypto already? Have you not been on the Fed now?
so I actually have some friends. Now they won't come out and tell me this, but I actually have some friends that are a part of the team that are actually building the new cryptocurrency for the U.S. government.
Okay, so then you know about it. I mean, I know that in
Sure.
March, I think they had actually started it or brought it to our attention, and then by July, it went live. I mean, I've been on the site, so it's not like I haven't seen it. It's true. It's a real thing. And very shortly, like I said last night, I was surprised that we haven't seen it yet. I'm expecting it hopefully in Q3 or Q4 of this year. If not, it'll definitely be next year, Q1. That all our jobs are going to turn over into that. That's one of the reasons why all our banks are not working properly. And that's why they're not giving out cash. And that's why we're hearing all the things that we're hearing about. Not so much on the news, but we are definitely reports coming through that something's going on with our banking system. Even this month, we went through our company went through a changeover into a new paying company. And I didn't really hard question them. I'm not gonna be the person who's the pain in the ass to say, hey, what's going on? Why are we doing this? But I'm sure it's to set us up for the cryptocurrency because that's how they're going to get paid and that's how they're going to pay us.
Well, I hope that we're not going to be forced, but apparently we're not going to be, because I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I would much rather hold my assets in something like this that is not controlled and under the U.S. government.
Yep. Probably
I agree.
inflatable.
It's
Yep.
just so different. I mean, this is, I don't, Barbie, the thing is, I am an old school finance guy, value investing. I mean, this is so unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've never seen anything. I mean, it's complicated. I mean, there is a lot to this stuff, and it's like trying to drink through a fire hose.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's complicated.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Awesome.
But think about it, Reggie, in your whole journey of life, here you are, and you have been chosen to see the light. You've been chosen to recognize the goodness of the Lord on us. I mean, to think of that like that way, and I hate to even make it a religious thing, but the universe has just bestowed upon us such a great gift. And for us to be a part of that, to have the eyes to see it, have the ears to hear it, like, wow, we made it. Like, out of the millions and billions of people out there, we made it. We came we're on the front lines of this. We've been called, and obviously you've been called just as much. And how exciting is that? I mean, can you not be? I'm just like full of giggles right now. Because I'm just charged up to be honored to have this position. I mean, I constantly go back to those devs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Shaitoshi Kusama, thank you for the vision. Like, where did that come from? How are you created? God made you and you're here on this earth and you decided, hey, I'm going to give something to this world, the best thing that I can, because I followed Ryoshi. I followed Ryoshi. And who is Ryoshi? I am no one. We are all equal. We are all one under God. And that is the freedom and liberty that we're going to have on this earth, following this plan that has been set, using this vehicle.
100%, Barbie.
It's
Reg,
so exciting. I mean, it's so much fun, really.
Oh, I know he's having a great time. I'm thankful to have him because a lot of these were his ideas. Come with this.
I see you. I see you, Reggie.
I think there's, obviously I'm in this to make money, right? We all are. I mean, in a way,
absolutely. I mean, I'd be a fool to say that I'm not. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for at least backing me up.
Look, I want to retire. I'm done. I love my crew. I love my job, but I'm done. I want to go serve others.
Yes.
I want to serve others. I want to go and meet the masses and just bless on them, love on them. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Reggie. Tell me about my business fan making money.
So, I figured there was one of two things going on. I figured, and you answered it tonight. I either figured that there was things going on behind the scenes where they weren't prepared to launch this thing, because there's where I'm so confused is like they're still bickering back and forth over if this is the right treat or not. And that could be solved in an instant where they could say, here's the code, here's it out, and that would and it just, to me, it was like a huge waste of time, this bickering back and forth, when you could put a stop to that. And my expression in business is early to bed, early to rise, work my ass off and advertise, right? Advertising is everything. In this case, they're not doing that. I mean, it's like everything's a mystery, everything is cryptic, and it's just unlike anything. It's just
it's different, huh?
Yeah. I just know I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't know if it was going to, is it different? It's the most different thing I've seen.
Wow, right?
But the thing about it is I didn't know if it was they were stalling because we had a part we had to play to basically hit the button to launch this sucker, or if it was just behind the scenes they weren't really ready to launch it yet. And that's where I was getting kind of excited and what do we need to do? We need to figure this thing out. We need to push, charge forward. But you're probably right, Barbie. It probably is a situation where behind the scenes there are some, issues or things that are slowing down. I'm guessing.
I'm gonna tell you right now, decentralized, and peer-to-peer dissemination of information is what they're looking for. And for a fact, they don't want to be known as central. And so that's why Satoshi said he's leaving, right? Is because he's very central to a lot of people. And the lesson of the day is do your own research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Reggie. Don't listen to Barbie. Listen to your heart and do your research. Find some friends, look into it. That's the name of the game. And the whole thing with Treat being denied a lot sounds to me like a lesson that he's teaching, which is don't listen to me. I'm nobody. Why would you listen to me? I could be bullshitting. And he is. And I like that. I respect that. It also tells me it's up to us to disseminate. They like peer-to-peer. We know that. Well, great. That's what we're doing right now. And we'll continue to do it. And it's just going to get better and better. It's going to get more entertaining, more innovative.
I want to jump in there with that concept. So the I am Ryoshi concept. So let's think about that, right? If we had a leader, if the centralized governments wanted to shut down Shibirium and shut down the Shiba state and shut down our protection, who would they go after? Exactly. The president. right?
Mm.
They would go after the president immediately. How many presidents in centralized government have been taken down? I mean, I just think of Brazil for some reason. It just keeps coming back to me. It actually hurt my feelings this past year, what they did to that governmental leader. And if we don't have anyone, if I am no one, who are you coming after?
After.
Right?
Exactly.
Who are
Exactly,
you
Barbie.
coming after? And
Whose head
then
you off of what snake? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's like if someone is guilty, no, seriously, if someone's guilty, right? And so the whole town wants to back up this one person because the government wants to come out there. The first person who's going to stand up, my neighbor's going to stand up behind me and say, I did it. Then the next person next to him says, I did it. And the next person after him, I did it. And the next person after him says, I did it. And when you have a bunch of people all saying the same thing, I did it, and stood up to the governments, then who has that leg? Who's standing on, I am Ryoshi?
Keep that beautiful wind coming out of those lips. That was the most beautiful sentiment I've ever heard. That was great. What you just said. What are they gonna do? Lock them all up?
What did they do? What did they do in Canada? Canada was so close. They were so close. Oh my goodness. I literally, every time I would drive home, there was this one bridge that I would have to drive under. And there were people that came out every night and they put out the Canada flag and they put out the American flag during that time. And I literally, my spirit just cried out to the Lord saying, oh my goodness, be with these Canadians, these truckers, right?
Yeah.
What happened? They had a leader. They had a leader. And what did they do? They locked her up.
Same
and
place.
They shut it down.
Right? Exactly.
Say it again.
They were having, so you had Canadians fighting the Canadian government, right? Is that about right? So they were infighting. Yeah. So it wasn't you didn't have Big Brother, Big Cousin to back you up because Big Cousin was your dad in essence, right? I mean, you were in trouble. You're fucked. So yeah.
In the court of law, though, if you're a Shibirium, right, and you're standing up to the government, the Shibirium is going to protect you. You're going to have your own lawyers. You're going to have your own people who are going to defend against you.
I love that.
It can't be touched. It becomes sovereign. It's that whole idea of sovereignty.
No borders, no real borders, meaning what? They got your back in. They got your back in China.
Is what you're saying, Barbie. You can that's actually a real thing. You know, the whole sovereign thing. That's the first. I mean, I've heard the word sovereign before, but I've never heard it quite like that.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's how I see it. That's part of the decentralization. I know that I could become sovereign here in America, and it's not easy, but it's easy enough to do. But then I'm really sovereign.
Yeah, and then you're sovereign.
Then I have nothing to. But then I live in this country, and I have nothing to stand on. To be honest, it's not the easiest road to be walking that way.
Wow.
You really have to be able to have a really good backbone and not give a fuck. Excuse my language, but that's really what it comes down to. I can't be sovereign and make a living here.
Yeah.
I can't be sovereign and being employed here.
Exactly.
I would have to be totally self-sufficient 100%.
Yep. Exactly.
There's no way for anybody to take there's no way for them to take the blockchain down, correct?
Nope. Couldn't take it down unless they had to put the sun out to take Ethereum down.
Because if you wanted to, you said a while ago, we don't want to, if you had a president, you don't have a president here, they can't really go after anybody. The only thing I could see that would be, the so-called SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Well, the threat I would see would be if they could remove the blockchain, which would be the foundation, which would shut everything down. But if they can't do that, then you're okay. But if they can, you might have a problem.
Well, Reggie, that is going to be something, though. You have to be realistic about that. And at the end of the day, everything is done on electricity. So if the power goes down for some reason, we're all fucked. Excuse my language again. I apologize that, but that's really what happens.
You're fired up tonight, or?
Yeah, let's get them going. No, I love guys. We really moved this conversation forward. This is a place that I haven't been mentally yet. All of this, and it's really good. Glad we got it on camera.
Barbie, is there
oh,
anything,
yeah.
is there anything else in this paper that you've read that kind of stands out to you other than the basic foundation of all this new sovereign idea? Is there anything else in there that you were like, wow, that's pretty interesting, or that's unusual? Anything like that?
Let me just look really quick. You have to give me a minute. John,
Sure.
why don't
She's
you
got
talk
notes
for a
like
minute?
you. She's got tons of notes. She sent a few earlier, like the president is not a necessity, that it may come later. What else did I see that she sent? 4-year terms. Now
So
that was top.
basically, so Barbie, basically, this book right here, this paper,
Correct.
Yep.
this right here is basically the sovereign government framework.
Correct. And also, it also has the Great Canine Code, which is the golden rule. I mean,
Nice.
that's literally summing it up in 2 words.
That's nice.
Well, you know what it
What-
is. I mean, think about what the 10 commandments are, right? The first ones are, love your God, and the second one is love your neighbor as your self. I mean, that's pretty
Right.
much how simple it is in life.
That's
And
simple. It is.
when you love God, you're loving yourself first. You
Mm.
take care of yourself, you're taking care of your own needs, you're taking care of your own family. And then the next, 5 of the commandments are treat your neighbor just as you would yourself. So
right.
that's the Great Canine Law. And that's what you have there.
Mhm.
And then the Hounds Constitution is the second part. And that's, like I said, that's really where you're giving a government, and it's giving people leadership roles. It's giving some direction. It's giving, some guidelines. And all these things are there to protect us and give us a leg to stand on. It's a gift to us from Shaitoshi, and that's how we can use it.
Well,
Now,
let's go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
and listen, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt
No,
you.
don't.
So, what is the difference between this
Mm.
and that?
Okay, so this should be I've said this before, it's just a synopsis. So what they did was in my opinion, I don't know, I have absolutely no clue, but in my opinion, what they did was they took the actual great sheet of paper and they threw it through the GPT, and GPT spit this out. So if you look at the first part of it, it's basically goes over the your Great Canine Code, being good to others. And then after that, you'll see where it says numbers on page 15, the top crypto problem solved by the Shiba state. It gives you a problem and a solution, a problem and a solution, a problem and a solution. And basically that they're wrapping up the Hounds Constitution through that. And then at the end, we have the great problems that are solved. Again, problem, solution. That's the second half. The first one, the top 15 crypto, and then the second part is the top 10 global. And so that's where you make up the entire Constitution. It's just applicable to that. And at the end of the actual SHIB state paper, you'll have some fur things, so some extras, incidentals, I guess that's how I'd look at it, probably. Let me see what page that is. So did you understand that part?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what they did. They probably asked, instead of saying, hey, can you go through the entire Constitution? I have been trying to make these videos, and there is no way, and I have tried multiple times with ChatGPT, say, write just me one sentence about this or one sentence about that. I mean, I've really tried to be as concise as possible.
I just used it tonight, and you just say profit. I love it because you don't have to type in any prompts on that. Over at the Treat Chat, type in profit spelled with the PHET, and ask it whatever you want. Like you said, those people are getting really, really good questions in there. Ask
Yeah.
that thing.
I
Yeah, it knows. It knows
I
the
will
Shiba.
definitely do that. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. But what I was going to say is it still will give me a 12-minute video because it's so lengthy. So I
Yeah.
think whoever really was able to talk to the Chat GPT and had fed it the charter, they were able to say, hey, okay, let's break it down to this way. What's the problem? What's the solution? What's the problem? What's the solution? I know, like you said, John, there are people on this treat army that with innovation that are so clever and so brilliant in how they think and how they speak. They really know how to use the tool. They're
Yeah.
very good at it.
Yes, like
Meanwhile, I'm saying, please write it so that a 5-year-old can understand.
yes, good tools, really good tools if you can learn from it.
John, is this being recorded?
Yeah, and we can stop whenever we're ready. This is just some extras because y'all were talking about some good subjects.
I was going to ask Barbie something, but I didn't be recorded.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. 1 second.
I said I was going to ask Barbie.
Okay.
Yeah, he's turning it off. Go ahead, Reggie. What's up?